recently, your significant other found themselves engulfed by an overwhelming flood of emotions, so powerful and consuming that they felt utterly drained, as if every ounce of their vitality had been siphoned away, leaving them hollow and devoid of energy. This wasn't the kind of tiredness that could be remedied by sleep or rest. It was a deep, soul-level exhaustion that seeped into every fiber of their being. They felt as though they were wandering through a vast, barren desert, under an unrelenting sun, with no oasis in sight, their spirit parched, their heart weary. Every step felt heavier than the last, as if invisible weights were tied to their feet, pulling them deeper into the sands of despair. This was more than just physical fatigue, it was an emotional depletion so profound that it clouded their perception of themselves and the world around them. In moments of stillness, they could feel the emptiness echoing within, a reminder of how far they felt from the person they wanted to be. There were days when even the simplest task seemed monumental, and the idea of reaching out for help felt impossible, as if the very act of asking for support would shatter what little strength they had left. Accompanying this deep exhaustion was a sense of discouragement, a quiet, gnawing despondency that clung to them like a shadow. They stood at the base of an immense mountain, staring up at its towering peak, which seemed impossibly far away, shrouded in clouds of uncertainty and fear. The path to the summit was littered with obstacles, each one more daunting than the last, and they doubted whether they had the strength or the will to begin the climb. Their confidence, once a steady flame, now flickered uncertainly in the cold wind of self-doubt. This discouragement was intertwined with a profound sadness, a deep, aching melancholy that seemed to originate from some hidden well within their soul. It colored every thought, every memory, casting a pall over moments that might have otherwise brought joy or comfort. It was the kind of sadness that made the world seem muted, as though all its vibrant colors had faded into shades of gray. The laughter of others felt distant, and even their own smile seemed like a mask that no longer fit. Lacking motivation, they found themselves trapped in a cycle of inertia. It was as if they were ensnared in a web, each struggle to break free only tangling them further. They longed to feel purpose again, to wake each day with a sense of drive, but that spark seemed elusive. Instead, they withdrew, not out of indifference, but because their heart was too heavy, their mind too clouded by the weight of unspoken sorrows. They weren't ready to make commitments or accept the love being offered to them, not because they didn't care, but because they couldn't yet see beyond their own pain. Overwhelmed by these emotions, your significant other embarked on a journey of solitude, retreating from the world, not to escape it, but to seek clarity within themselves. Like a hermit withdrawing to the mountains, they sought the quiet necessary to reflect on their life, their choices, and their feelings. In that solitude, they confronted their broken heart, examining its fractures and trying to piece it back together with patience and compassion. The process was slow, at times agonizing, but necessary. They needed to understand the wounds of their past, to acknowledge the disappointments and traumas that had shaped them, before they could truly heal and move forward. This journey inward created distance between you and them, a separation that felt both painful and necessary. While it might have seemed from the outside that nothing was changing, that they were standing still, beneath the surface, profound shifts were taking place. The universe, in its quiet and mysterious way, was at work, guiding them through this period of darkness toward the dawn that awaited. What felt like stagnation was, in truth, a time of gestation, a pause that allowed for growth, renewal, and transformation. Change, though invisible in the moment, was drawing near. Even in the deepest night, a spark of hope remained, flickering like a distant star, promising that dawn would come. And so, it is vital to hold on to that hope. The path ahead may still seem uncertain, but the darkness will not last forever. Just as night gives way to morning, so too will this period of struggle give way to light, to clarity, to new beginnings. Be patient. Nurture your hope. And prepare yourself for the unexpected turns that life so often brings, turns that may, in time, lead you and your loved one back to each other. When you confessed your love, I felt something shift within me. I was overwhelmed by the intensity of the moment, and instead of stepping forward, I stepped back, retreating from the person who had become the center of my universe. This wasn't because I didn't love you. On the contrary, it was because I did, so deeply, so profoundly, that I felt unworthy of the gift you were offering me. I was gripped by my own insecurities, my own sense of inadequacy. I felt like a traveler lost in a storm, unfit to accept the safe harbor of your heart. Before you entered my life, I was adrift, caught in a maelstrom of confusion, doubt, and fear. My spirit was weighed down by old wounds and future anxieties. The world felt like a chaotic blur, and I struggled to find meaning or direction. But your presence changed that. You were like a lighthouse in the storm, your love a beacon guiding me toward safer shores. Yet, even as I drew closer, I was terrified, afraid that I would fail you, that I would let you down, that I would tarnish the purity of what you offered. Your love became a catalyst for my awakening. It forced me to look inward, to confront the parts of myself I had long tried to ignore. I realized that I was not living the life I was meant to lead. I yearned for something deeper, something more purposeful. And so, I began a quiet transformation, a turning inward, a search for meaning that led me to explore my own spiritual beliefs, my values, and my hopes for the future. I began to see that the fear, the doubt, the ego that had once governed my choices no longer served me. In this process, my dreams became vivid and filled with symbolism. Night after night, I saw you, heard your voice, felt your presence. Our conversations in those dreams felt so real that I would wake up with your words echoing in my mind, your image imprinted on my heart. These dreams were bittersweet, a reminder of the distance between us, but also a source of comfort, a way to stay connected across the chasm that had formed. And through it all, my love for you only grew stronger. I missed you, not just the sound of your voice or the touch of your hand, but the peace you brought to my soul. My confession of love was a moment of truth, a turning point that set me on the path of healing. I walked away not because I stopped loving you, but because I needed to become someone worthy of the love you so freely gave. And until that day comes, I will continue to dream of you, to miss you, to long for you. For in my heart, you will always have a home. In relationships, unexpected turns often change everything. This is the story of such a turn, a betrayal that came from where you least expected it. You gave your heart fully, trusted completely. You became a refuge, a source of strength, a protector. You stood by your partner through their darkest hours, offered your shoulder, your ear, your unwavering love. But in return, they betrayed you, not out of malice, but perhaps out of weakness, confusion, or fear. They took what you gave and squandered it, failing to see its worth until it was too late. Now they are filled with regret, haunted by the pain they caused. They wish they could undo the past, but time marches on, unyielding. And soon, you will see them as they truly are, stripped of pretense, raw and vulnerable. They yearn for you, crave your presence, your voice, your affection. Your strength, your resilience, the light you radiate, it draws them still, even as they fear to approach, afraid of rejection, of judgment, of the consequences of their choices. You have become a beacon of strength, rising from the ashes of betrayal, turning hurt into growth, pain into power. Your partner watches from afar, astonished at your grace, your courage, your ability to claim the respect you deserve. They see in you what they failed to appreciate before, and now, more than ever, they long to return, to make amends, to earn back your trust. This is a story of betrayal and redemption, of love tested and hope renewed. It reminds us that even in the darkest moments, light is possible, that from heartbreak, new beginnings can arise. And through it all, your love remains, as vast as the ocean, as boundless as the sky, a love you carry forward with strength, courage, and unwavering hope.